Years now. Kind of an amazing thing for me to think of it that way. I started in 1982 racing buggies. Take it back a little bit, and the reason why it all started was my father raced in the early 70s in mid 400 and snore races. He was heavily involved in the snore club as a president one period of time, and I was just a little kid at that time, hanging out at the races and at the meetings. Got really enjoying it, and he started me off racing motorcycles. I raced little Indian 50 motorcycles when I was about your age right there, and really just fell in love with off-road racing, the passion of all that. When I ended up, after the first 3 or 4 years racing motorcycles, I started getting involved in sports, playing basketball and things like that. And when I turned 16 years old, about 14 or 15 years old, my dad ended up purchasing a buggy store in Las Vegas called the Vet Off-Road Buggy. And I ended up having a job. I had to go to work and learn how to work on buggies and things like that, and we ended up building a little buggy to go play in the desert with, and have some good times. And a buggy came up for sale. 1600 car came up for sale, and my dad asked, you want to go racing? And it's like, well, what if I'm no good at it? He goes, we'll just sell the car and move on. But that first race when I was 16 years old in 1982, I did it with my dad and had a great time, and from then on, just ended up barrel rolling into where I'm at today. I want to talk about a little bit about the path that I took with that. When I started out, it was a family thing, just with my dad, really, and one of the things that he said to me was, if you want to do this, you got to work on the car, and if you don't work on the car, you don't get to race. So at that time, being 16 years old, it was like, I don't want to work on the car. I want to go racing and then have fun. But it's one thing that I really appreciate that he made me do is work on the car, because it taught me all the things about the car and knowing how to work on it. And actually, when you're out there racing it, you hear noises or things like that, and when I work on the thing at the same time, you end up relating the two things together, which it made me respect the car a little bit more, and learn not to drive it so hard. In the beginning, I did tear up a lot of stuff and had a lot of hard knock lessons. Moving on from there, we raced for kind of a family thing for the first 4 or 5 years, up until about 1986, where I was involved with, I got involved with Michael Gaughan, owner of the Barbary Coast Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, and he had also sponsored Walker Evans at the time. So I started driving Michael Gaughan's Class 1 buggy in both the Score and the HDRA series, and met Walker Evans. 1986-87, I was doing a lot of pre-running with Walker Evans, and in 1988, Walker picked up some more rides through Jeep, and Walker was driving a Dodge, so they invited me to come over and drive one of the trucks, and I was kind of just in awe that here I am. I just started racing buggies. I didn't know if I wanted to do it, and now I'm driving for Walker Evans, who was a legend in the sport at that time already. He brought me on board, and I raced for him for 3 years with Jeep, and had a really good time racing the Mickey Thompson Stadium Series, Score, and HDR at the time. From there, we moved on to racing with the Ford Rough Rider program in the early 90s, 1991. Frank D'Angelo, who was with BF Goodrich, the Ford Motor Company, and a group of other sponsors all got together, and they formed a group of a racing team called the Ford Rough Riders, which went on from 1991 to 96, and that's really where, for me, right along with Walker, but moving on into the Ford Rough Rider program is what really took my name to another level and really helped out, not only racing same Score, HDRA, and the Mickey Thompson series. A lot of good times in those years, and it was fun to not have to work on your own car anymore, and to just end up being involved with testing and things like that, showing up to the races and driving. From there, we moved on into a little bit of tough times. Actually happened at the end of 1996 was the end of the Rough Rider program, and I had to kind of start my own team up at the Jim Venable, who I was driving for. All this is really good times, good memories. As I'm talking about this, I'm remembering things that were really fun at those times. From 1997 to 2001, I ran my own program, hired some people, Frank, who built some awesome trucks, and he's actually, he's been inducted into the NHRA Hall of Fame over here for building stuff for Mickey Thompson. Had a lot of success with him. Hi, Johnny Greaves. Right there. 2001, ended up doing a lot of stuff with Ford Motor Company, got involved with the Ranger racing in the Best in the Desert series. still doing other stuff. I got involved with another team, Gus Vildoso, racing trophy truck. For me, it was got a little bit scattered in those years on where I was racing and everything. So I was racing for different teams, different places. 2007, I got picked up by Riviera Racing. We had a very successful year that year. I think we won 7 of 10 trophy truck races, along with winning the trophy truck championship in score, and also winning the Ball 1000 that year. Started in Ensenada, went all the way to Cabo, which winning that race, the Ball 1000, was the feeling that I got after we won that race was like no other race. That was the first time I'd won the Ball 1000 overall, and what an incredible feeling. Kept working with Riviera Racing 2007, 8, and 9. Economy, that's when the economy started to turn just a little bit, and Riviera slowed down in racing, and I started looking for some different things to race, and I got hooked up with Steve Menzies and also Rockstar 2008, and that's when Core was in its heyday, and had great times there. Moving on into the 2009, I started racing with MacCachren Racing in the trophy truck, and at the same time I'm also started racing with my own Pro 2 program in both the Torque Series and the Lucas Oil Series. Had a lot of great success in those years. Last night was bringing it all the way up to the current time. I was inducted into the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame, which it's like, wait a minute, I'm not done racing yet. I've been, a lot of years to come, but also I look back and I've been doing it for 30 years and a lot of good years in racing. I couldn't, wouldn't trade any of the things that I've done in the past. I love it, and a lot of the kids that are coming up today, there's a lot of good times. I think there's a lot of people here that are very addicted to off-road racing. Once you get involved, you go out and see it, you're in. This is the trophy truck that I'm currently driving. It just came off of the San Felipe Challenge of Champions race, and which it ended up winning the race overall. If you'll notice, one of the neat things that we came up with, actually Fox Shocks came up with, it's really helping the speeds. Every year these trucks keep going faster and faster, but up on top there's some coolers up there that Fox calls them the cactus cooler, and basically what that helped us do is we raced in San Felipe in February in the spring, and the shocks San Felipe is so notorious for being so rough, and the speeds, going through bumps that are, 2-3 feet deep at 80 to 100 miles an hour. That's what we try to do, but the shocks, they just couldn't take it at the time. They would overheat and go over 400 degrees. So Fox came up with this cooler on top of the truck there. It's called the cactus cooler, and ended up knocking it, over 100 degrees out of the truck, which enabled us to go, probably 30-40% quicker in the course. We just did some testing this past week with the truck, and it's a never-ending process. You keep trying and making the thing go faster, and I think we made our most improvements on the truck in this last test that we did, so we're really excited going into the Ball 1000. We're second points right now. We're 6 points behind. We need to go and win the race and finish ahead of Bryce Menzies to get the championship. I've been involved with BF Goodrich since 1991, and one of the best things that they do, there's many, but the dedication that they have into making a better off-road product. They do a lot of tire testing. We used to go out to a place, the Mid 400, which is a famous race, but there was a part of the race course there that was called the Rock Garden, and there to this day has never been anything as brutal as the Rock Garden. There was sharp-edged rocks, kind of like stairs that we'd have to go through, and back in the late 80s, early 90s, we couldn't get through there without having a flat tire, so BF Goodrich put their heads down, got their engineers, and we started doing tire testing right there in the Rock Garden. And they did, in the beginning of that, before I was involved, Ivan Stewart was the guy, and they were going out there for day after day, just continuously beating the tires to death until they could get through there without no flats. In 1991 is when I got involved and started doing a lot of tire testing with them, and it was an amazing thing to be able to hit rocks that were softball to bowling ball, and square rocks like stair steps, just hitting them at 50-60 miles an hour, 70, and having the tires live. Another partner that I have nowadays is Rockstar Energy Drink and MacCachren Safety. We also help support me. They're always creating better products, and over the years, and it's a never-ending thing. And for me, it's an incredible sport to be involved with. I have a huge passion for doing it. Like I said, I've done it for 30 years. I look doing it hopefully another 20 or so, see as many as I can do. But I thank all you guys for coming here. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, I'm also going to be starting to sign autographs and stuff like that. Do you guys does anyone have any questions they want to ask?